What's up, y'all? I'm back out here on the range on a humid, cloudy day. Temperature's not real terrible out here, but it is humid as can be. Luckily, the cloud cover's keeping the sun covered up for now. Hopefully, it'll stay that way because I'm already sweating up a storm out here. But hopefully, it'll stay at least this decent right here because I've got a couple of good tests planned. We're going to start it out with some 5.56. So we got the split jelly contraption going on with the bench and chrono down at this end. And then down there at 28 yards, we got the gel blocks. I was on the way to show you some gel blocks and I almost stepped on this old slithering snake out here. Hopefully he'll get some mice and take care of them. So down here again at 28 yards, we got 2 fresh blocks of gel. First test of the day, so we'll get a real good clear picture of what happens. Heavy clothing barrier on it, of course, with a layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. It is sure enough swampy out here today, but luckily one thing that ain't is my ears, because y'all know I've been using these Axle Ear Pro. I've used these things now for about 2.5, almost 3 years. Absolutely love them. They keep your ears from getting all sweaty in this old hot weather. Now y'all know recently I started trying out their X cores too. These are the GS Extremes. The X cores, I'll do a review on both of them. Personally, right now, if I was going to suggest you getting one, it would be these GS Extremes 100%. Not that the X cores are bad by any means, but there's a couple little things that I like better with these. I'm going to do a full review on both of them, a comparison video, so y'all can kind of see the pros and cons of them. But I've got links down there for both of them if y'all are interested in some real nice ear pro. Again, as of right now, I would personally recommend the GSX. But back to business down here, what we're checking out is some 5.56 that was given to me by Brandon up at my local shop, so a big thanks to him again for that. We got the Badlands Munitions Company 5.56. This is their 77 grain loaded with the Sierra Match King in these Shell Shock NAS 3 cases. Now, these are those multi-piece cases. They're actually stainless steel. You got a stainless steel base on these. The base on the handgun stuff is aluminum, but this is stainless steel. There's a lot of benefits to these Shell Shock cases. I'm not going to go into all that. I've gone over it before. It just has to do with weight, capacity, actually powder capacity, tensile strength, several different things, lubricity, but y'all can check that out if you're interested. Again, these are loaded with the Sierra Match King open tip match. Now the velocity on the box here is 2800 FPS. That is out of an 18-inch barrel with a 1-in-7 twist. They've got all that info on their site. I mean, and they broke it down, buddy, to the brands of all the parts and everything. So I really like to see that. That being said, we're probably not going to see that velocity on this test right here because I'm using the shorter barrel lengths. Both of the barrel lengths are shorter than the 18-inch, but I'm doing that for a reason. Hopefully, if we see good stuff here, I can move it on up in barrel length and distance. So I want to start it out with the best possible chance to get these things to do what they're supposed to do. Now, these are not specifically marketed as defense type stuff either, but a 5.56 of just about any kind is going to do the job as far as defensive use, no matter what it is. But these, I believe these are more geared for precision type stuff, match, really tight grouping and stuff like that, which that's something I'm not really interested in. Number one, I just don't have a good setup to do it justice as far as a permanent bench and all. I know I still haven't got that done. And number two, as far as an AR and 5.56, in my opinion, there's no difference than sub MOA and 4 MOA. Either way, it is doing the job it's intended to do. But I know some people are interested to see if it's really good at doing both, you know, really good precision and good defensive type ballistics in the gel out here. So we're going to check it out today. And what I'm going to run them out of for this first test for the shorty, I've got a 10.5 inch here. Now this does have a 1-in-7 twist on it, 10.5 inch barrel, PSA upper and the PSA VA15 lower there. You can see you got the Kung Fu grip on it. And then for the longer one, we've got the 16-inch, again, PSA upper and lower here. Got the Angry Joe lower on this one, 16-inch barrel. And again, this is a 1-in-7 twist. So shouldn't have stability issues. You've got the same twist that they use to test with. Now, granted, you're getting still a little over a couple of twists here, but now in the 10.5, you're getting under 2 twists. So I don't think stability is going to be a real issue because honestly, I think these things are just going to tumble anyway out of that 10.5 inch and maybe do some fragmenting, but hopefully I'll be surprised and they give us some really nice looking stuff. But that's enough of all the chit chatting. Let me get it all set up and let's see what they do. All right, let's see what kind of velocity we're working with. I'm gonna do a 5-round average from each barrel length, starting with this 10.5 inch first. If y'all aren't familiar with this lab radar, you're gonna get multiple readings off this thing. The large numbers at the muzzle, and then you've got 5 across the bottom. The first one I've got set for 10 yards, and then you've got 28 yards, which is where the gel is, and then we got 50, 75, and 100. Remember, the box is saying 2800. That's out of an 18-inch though. If I was guessing on this, I'm gonna say lacking 8 inches of barrel, it's probably gonna lose right much, probably 24-ish hundred maybe. Let's see what we get though. $24.53, $24.46, $24.33, $24.14, and $24.19, and it definitely looks like they are stacked on top of each other now. I don't have any kind of point of reference down there. I'm just kind of aiming for the middle, but it looks like they're right on top of each other. All right, I noticed we didn't get most of like the 75 and 100s. A lot of times with the radar type chronos, it's a little tricky with the smaller caliber stuff, but hopefully we'll get some of them. Our 5-round average right there was 24.33, so about what I figured as far as loss because of the barrel length. Extreme spread of 38 and a standard deviation of 16.6, so not bad consistency at all, especially considering the atmosphere out here today ain't the best at all. So not too terrible out of the 10-inch. Let's get it reset and try the 16. All right, y'all, delay a game. Before I move to the 16, I want to show you out here at 100 yards. Now, I'm not trying to say this group right here is some award-winning match type level stuff, but that's a 10.5-inch barrel at 100 yards through a dot with a magnifier. That's 3 inches. That's right at 3 inches right there. So in my opinion, that right there ain't bad at all. And that's just me just holding, I was probably holding roughly right here. So I think that's pretty doggone good for a 10.5-inch at 100 yards. All right, let's see what we get from the 16-inch. I would say we'll probably be right in between this and the 18. So probably 2,600, somewhere around in there, but we'll see what happens. 27.14, 27.29, 27.26, 26.93, and another 26.93. So about what I figured. Let's check out the average on it. I figured I better show y'all the 16-inch group down here. Y'all get on to me because I didn't. So as you can see, again, another nice group down here. Again, that's no more than 3 inches. It may be a little under 3 inches even. On this one, I was holding at that exact height right at the bottom of these rounds is what I was kind of getting my reference, and holding about right here. So that's pretty doggone good. If you ask me, for no point of aim down here at 100 yards, I'll take that all day long. All right, so not bad numbers at all for this to be rated out of an 18-inch barrel, and then this being 16. Our average was 2,711, and they say 28 out of the 18. Extreme spread of 36 and a standard deviation of 17.4. So again, there's no doubt that 5.56 is going to be devastating down here in the gel. I'm just really curious to see what it does. So let's get this stuff reset, and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's Can Match King Deliver the Sting jelly time. I'm gonna put one from each barrel length into the gel, starting with this 10.5 first. I got a feeling we're gonna have some drama here. I just really think this stuff is gonna tumble and maybe exit the block somewhere, but hopefully I am wrong. All right, I didn't see a whole lot of anything down there. Let me go see what happened. All right, I just got proven wrong big time, and I ain't even mad about it because it looks really good down there. Split in half perfectly like you really want to see from something like this. So let's see what it does out of the 16-inch, and I'm sure we're going to do more good things right here. Whew, we about knocked him off the table on that one. Let's go see what we got. All right, y'all, let's check out what we got down here. Very, very nice performance from both of these. This is really surprising. I didn't expect anything bad because, again, 5.56 in an AR, it's going to do the job, some kind of job regardless, but I didn't expect this from these at all. So the first one we got up top is the 10.5. This one kind of did like what I thought it might do, but better. It still comes in here, as you can see. Now, that might be some tumbling right there. It wouldn't surprise me at all. That action right there looks like tumbling. So carries on through here, but either way it broke apart somewhere along the line because you do have some fragmentation along in here. It splits apart into two big old chunks right here. Then you can see one piece of it goes and stops right there. The other piece goes and stops right there. So very, very nice energy transfer and disruption all the way through this first block, and some very, very nice penetration. And then the 16-inch kicked it on up a notch. You can see here, it comes in again. That thing went all to pieces, no doubt about it right there. Just a big old massive energy dump, fragmentation going every which way. It looks like we lost a pretty good chunk of it right here, so our weight may be a little lower than it actually is if that wouldn't have came out, but tons and tons of fragmentation, no doubt about it. You really don't have anything large left. The largest two chunks are these right here, but the rest of it just all to pieces. Now, normally I'm not a huge fan of so much fragmentation, but when you're talking about a 5.56 to a rifle, that really doesn't matter. This right here is absolutely going to get the job done. So as far as the penetration on it, this one here from the 10.5, that little piece went to 21, and this one here went a little further. This one here is out to 22 inches, so nice penetration right there. And then on the 16.5 inch, the furthest piece of it is out here at exactly 15 inches. So for most folks, that right there is perfect penetration. And here's your close-up look. You can see both of them. I mean, they just brought it, buddy. They dumped a ton of energy. The top one there, that's no doubt some tumbling, no doubt about it. Now the 16-inch on the bottom, you can see, I mean, it went all to pieces, just all to pieces. Carries on through here. The longest piece, again, right there at 15 inches. If we go back up, the 10-inch travels into the second block, and then there you can see those two pieces. From the top, the same kind of deal. You can see there, nice disruption all the way through here from both of them. You get that split from the 10.5, and if you go back down, look towards the bottom, you can see all the pieces from the 16. All right, let's check out what's left of these projectiles. This obviously was the 10.5. These were the two biggest pieces from the 16-inch. Now, obviously all of it's still in there except the one piece that came out. So, you know, take this for what it's worth. I just always measure the biggest pieces, so that's what we'll do. Just as you can see, just a couple of small little pieces of lead. Now, this one here out of the 10.5 inch, this looks like most of the projectile. This is actually the front of it. As you can see there, smashed it out. Nice mushroom in there. And then this is the tail end. You can see your boat tail there. So let's see exactly how much we did lose. We'll start with the 10.5. They started at 77. These two pieces are at 76.0, so not really a whole lot of loss there, which is a good thing in my opinion. This one here from the 16-inch is down to 28.4, so a bunch of loss right there. But again, in the case of a 5.56, moving this kind of velocity out of an AR, it really doesn't matter. And then as far as sizes, not really a whole lot to measure here. Probably not really a whole lot of sense in measuring it, but the biggest piece here is 0.318. This other little piece, you got what? 0.163. So again, not really much point in that, but just in case somebody's curious. Now these two here, we can measure these separate. Obviously your diameter is going to be around what it's supposed to be to start with, 244 there. The length on this piece, you got 490, 489. And then this piece here, you got 416 and 348. So that's some actually nice stuff right there. I'm pretty impressed by the 10.5. Really, I'm actually pretty impressed by both of these. So there you go, y'all. The Badlands Munitions 77 grain Sierra Match King shell shock load. Really nice performance from this stuff. Glad to see the consistency and the velocity. As far as the gel down here, it definitely surprised me. I expected mostly just just tumbling. You know, maybe some fragmentation, but nothing like this right here, especially from the 10.5 inch. I think this did a great job from the 10.5 inch. Now, upping the weight through a 10.5 inch or going a little bit further might be a different story, but that's why I kind of kept it here to start with. So now we can maybe bring this out a little bit further and just see how far we can go with the 10.5 and still get good results. But as far as this one right here, these things look incredibly accurate, and I would have no problem using these for defensive purposes. All right, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up right there for another good 5.56 test. Like I said, it's really hard to get a bad 5.56 round, no matter what it does. If it just goes in and tumbles, if it fragments, if it stays together in mushrooms, either way, you're talking about a potent little package in a 5.56 out of an AR. So no matter what happens, it can be used for defensive purposes for sure. I just personally don't think about defensive use when I think about real high-end match type ammo like this, but obviously you can use it for defensive purposes, and it does a really good job. And I guess you can say at the same time, you know, you've got that accuracy there, because this stuff is incredibly accurate. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this is very accurate. And I know some of y'all saying, well, you showed us 3-inch groups out there at 100 yards. But again, I explained to y'all, and I have no problem admitting that was all me. That's me causing the performance loss right there out of this ammo, because it's capable of way more than that. Even doing my little point of impact test out there before I do my gel shots, here's the groups on this. I only took 3 rounds. Now this was the 10.5. Now this is at 28 yards again, but this is off of this wobbly bench. I know I've got a lead sled, but trust me, this thing's wobbling like crazy. And I'm not making excuses for my performance. I'm just trying to tell y'all that this ammo is way, way better than I'm showing you it is. This right here was 3 I took out of the 10-inch. Now that was a flyer, and I knew when I pulled that, but those two right on top of each other. So then I just sent 2 out to 16, and those are right there on top of each other. So this ammo is capable of some very, very good accuracy. But let me know down in the comments what y'all think about it. Do any of y'all out there run any ammo from Badlands Munitions? What do you think about the performance from it out here today as far as defensive use? Would you rather, like me, now I still personally prefer a good soft point, something that stays in one solid piece, a nice little mushroom, but let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Do y'all prefer something like that, like a soft point that stays together, or are you just fine with this fragmentation? If you did enjoy the video, make sure you reach down and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you got those notifications turned on so you get notified when I upload stuff. Take a second, like I always remind you, and hit up those affiliate links in the video description. Anything you buy after checking those links out down there, I get a kickback from them toward the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Big thanks again to Brandon at my local shop for hooking me up with this ammo, all my range gang members, and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've got one more good test planned for today, so stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.